we can, because you are a loudmouth bully. You want to bully them, bully me, Buster. You're concerned that he's being scammed.
Yes, I am very concerned.
And you're sensitive to this, but you've got a system where you weed out whether someone's being scammed or not.
Well, I do my best, but it's often failure.
Right. So what is it you're after? What is it you want to achieve in terms of relationship?
I want a woman to marry.
Why?
Because I don't like being alone.
Well, there's more to it than that, though, right? A candidate for you has to have certain qualities and characteristics, right?
Sure, to filter that down to somebody, that's correct. Well, yeah, I mean, I think, look, I'm a guy. I mean, to be honest, in generally, you're looking for somebody you're attracted to first, but that's not the only thing. I'm looking for somebody who has Christian beliefs, is committed, and I'm looking for somebody who is funny, smart, intelligent, somebody I can have a rapport with, somewhat adventurous, sense of humor.
In a perfect world, you would like somebody that's young, attractive, interesting, funny, exotic, and rich.
Yes, that's possible.
The finances are an important part because, as you say, you squandered all of your retirement for the two of you.
It is an important part.
And you found that out.
The night before he underwent a triple bypass.
Wow. And you did it by presenting a credit card that you knew should have a zero balance.
I went to buy a cushion for him to lie on when he got out of the hospital. And I found out that that credit card was maxed out at $9,000 something. And I couldn't even buy a $49 cushion. So I went to him and he confessed that he had maxed that out and that he had maxed out 3 other credit cards so that we were now $40,000 in credit card debt.
And that was just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Because you found out $40,000 was just the credit cards. In fact, he had been day trading and lost
all of it.
Everything. So what do you say to yourself when you're that upset and angry and then he's going into surgery, presumably life-saving surgery?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I honestly didn't know whether I wanted him to survive or not.
So if you had gotten that $49 cushion, you might have used it to smother him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I wouldn't have gotten the life insurance, so.
That's true. Yeah. And you understood she was upset, right?
Well, yes, that would be normal. But the main part of the story I want to correct is I never used all of our savings on any other women. That never happens.
You have been sending money to women?
I have been, but I never used any of our savings. You see, any of that happened after
Where'd you get the money?
From my own income.
Well, let's be clear here. You were not sending any of our savings to women that you were romantically interested in, but you started with this scam business while we were still married and while I was still with you, because you had the woman who wanted to go to nursing school, and you had the person who posed as one of your former students. And we both tried to help those people. I began to realize it was a real scam setup.
That's correct.
And then once I left, you immediately began with the women. And the week after the divorce was final, he's asking me to help him figure out how to have a nest for his new fiance.
He asked you to help.
Yeah.
Well, this needs a lot of correction. I don't know how much time you have here.
I don't
think I have enough for you to correct all of that. But you said you had a way of filtering these out and kind of sorting out the scammers for the non-scammers.
Well, one way is when you ask for their image, you can search online to see if that image is showing up anywhere else using Google. Right. And if it shows up anywhere else under a different name, that's pretty much the end of the story right there as far as they're concerned.
All right. Well, Robert says he's talking to at least 5 different women in order to find the one. And I want him to explain the rationale behind his approach.
I'm looking for somebody who's reasonably athletic looking, somebody who's got womanly features, the whole package.
In my ex-husband Robert's mind, he's going to find a young Marilyn Monroe who's got all the money in the world, and she's going to want to marry him at 70 years old.
Like, I'm really charming, that's why,
He's definitely delusional. I think Bob is about as arrogant as they come. He thinks everybody thinks he's wonderful.
What I want to see from Dr. Phil is if there's any red flags that tell me to not pursue that particular woman, to move on.
Well, Robert says he began dating again after his 40-year marriage to his ex-wife, Jeremy, ended 3 years ago. However, one woman in particular, he says, he's ready to marry as soon as possible. That's Sophie. Now, you're really wanting to get as sophisticated as you can at weeding out real versus phony, right?
Of course.
You really want to know.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And that's why you're asking, if I have input, you want to know what it is.
Well, I knew you had resources here. That's what,
sure.
That's what my neighbor, Jill, she's the one who really contacted the show about it.
Right, right. And let's take a look at Robert's current pool of women, the 5. One is Sophie Preston. There's April Jean. Then there's Jane Hodges. She's also known as Jane Stamper. Then there's Rosalind Randy, and then Wendy Rodriguez. And these women are kind of from all over the globe, or at least currently are scattered kind of all over the globe, right?
Yeah, they're various places.
And you said one of them is in Modesto, or is from Modesto?
Well, Not from in Modesto. She grew up in the United Kingdom.
But she's in Modesto now.
That's what she says. That's Sophia.
Okay, and you realize that's really close to here.
I do.
Did you ask her to come up and meet you here?
No, I'm talking about going to her. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but I'd like it to happen.
Why would it not happen?
Because it has to be with her concurrence, and I haven't had enough conversation with her. That's a longer story, but the fact is that she's probably homeless right now and unable to get on the internet to communicate with me.
Okay. How have you been communicating with her? Has it been on the internet?
It's been on the internet like the others.
Have you talked to her on the phone?
I've never talked. She's mute.
This is the one that's mute.
She's mute. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but she has a friend that's not.
She has a childhood friend that I did communicate with, but only on chat, not on the phone.
She couldn't go to a library or internet cafe or somewhere and get on and type you a message? Or
Well, I don't know her situation exactly, mostly because I can't communicate with her about why she doesn't have communication. It's kind of a tricky thing there. And the reason why she's homeless is because she expected to get her inheritance, and she was kicked out of her home because her mother died and did not leave the home to her. The mother left the home to her stepbrother.
Yeah. Well, she was born in 94 in the United Kingdom, so she's 25.
Right.
Are you concerned about the age difference?
I didn't actually know she was 25.
Yeah.
I knew she was probably under 40, but I don't really look that closely at the exact age.
She's mute. She used to live with her mom in, is it Ripon, California?
That's correct.
And currently in a homeless shelter, most likely, is what you're thinking. She has a U.S. passport and a California driver's license. Her father, Michael Preston, is Nigerian, but he's deceased.
Correct.
And the father was CEO of United Crude Oil.
That's what I'm told.
And her mother, Jessica Phillip, was an American and was deceased last year.
Correct.
And her mother died while on a flight, right?
That's
and her
correct.
body is in a morgue in Frankfurt, Germany.
That's correct.
In fact, almost all these women's significant family members are deceased.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. And she has an attorney, this Bernard T. William, that lives in Ripon, California, that manages the inheritance.
Yes, but he's a conflict, and there's a good chance that he's actually been ripping her off as her attorney and not keeping his responsibilities as an attorney.
Okay. And she's a fashion designer?
She is. She's a very good one.
Yeah. And she sells to Miskay, which is an African company?
That's right. Not entirely. I don't know everything about her past business practices, but in recent times, that's been a person who's been selling her dresses and so forth.
And y'all met on a dating website, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you've been talking via text messages for 2 years, and she's expecting $50,000 in inheritance from her father.
She's expecting she's expecting $5.5 million from her father.
Okay, but she was going to send you $50,000.
Yes, because I've been sending her money, and
You've sent her like $8,000, something like that.
probably a little more, but most of that didn't get to her. There's no way for me to know that's true, but that's what I was told.
Yeah. If she's a really good fashion designer, why is she homeless?
She's homeless because because her home was taken from her during the time her mother died. It was not in her name.
So
So,
her father's leaving her $5.5 million.
she doesn't have access to it.
How's she going to get access to it?
Well, through my help along the line, and it involves a process which it involves a Nigerian company. That tells you something right there. Right?
Tells me a lot. Robert says he is currently focused on 5 women. What do you think about that?
It's pretty incredible.
It's kind of like a soap opera, really.
Yeah.
Right?
At least.
It is.
It's very busy. I mean, mom's dead, dad's dead,
It is.
brother got the house, she's mute.
And
I
I can
expect
tell you-
any minute for her to get amnesia.
And I can tell you you said it's like a soap opera. Well, that's only the half of it, actually.
Yeah, well, there's more. You're right. And here are some text message exchanges between Robert and Sophie. November 15th, Robert, here's the hotel address. Write it down. And he says, Sheridan Universal Hotel, 33 Universal Hollywood Drive, Universal City, California. You're giving her this so she can send the money, right?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Sophie says, I did, baby.
She meant she had the address written down.
If you sent it to her in a text, it already was written down. Why would she have to write it down?
I'm not sure. Actually, I have to think about that a little bit.
I just little things kind of jump out at me. Okay, then you said, my money just came. I'm off to the store across the street.
Me.
Right.
That's right.
What money just came?
Social Security check.
Oh, not from her.
No,
This other money.
no.
Okay. You're off to the store across the street to do what?
To send her money in the form of gift cards, which is a pretty common way now to transfer money from one to the other.
Okay, so as soon as you got your Social Security check, you're off across the street. I'm going to send you money.
That was pre-planned, you know.
Okay. And she says, okay, babe, are you there now? Like at the store?
Yeah, or online. One of the
Okay.
two.
And then you said, I sent $500 worth, and now I'm told I need to send 500 more. What the hell are you people doing to me over and over again? So you're questioning, like, what are you doing here, right?
I am.
And she says, baby, I made payment of $750 the last time. I think that is why you remember hacker took the fund on the card. I told you, babe, I'm so sorry.
I had new information about this.
So what is it?
It turned out that this money I just sent did not go to her or the right person. It turned out Bernard actually had the address. He took the money, and that was it.
Okay, her attorney,
She told me this the last few days.
Her attorney.
Her attorney, her so-called attorney.
Yeah, he robbed her.
Yes, and he'd been robbing her before, apparently, too.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens. Okay, then you said, I did it, but heaven help for what I've done. What's that mean?
It just means that I'm basically robbing from myself and my future to do that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sophie says, babe, I'm waiting for driver to pick me up. Babe, are there? The driver is here.
And that's the last thing I heard from her until a couple days ago, after I was out here with you.
She's homeless, but she's got a driver.
No. Well, I'm not sure. That's unclear to me, too, actually. But there's so many aspects of this, focusing on that wasn't
Could be a cab.
Right. The focus on that wasn't my priority. More, I was worried about what happened to her.
You know,
because that's the last thing I actually heard from her. I mean, yes, I questioned that, but I questioned a lot about this. And that was minor potatoes compared to the bigger issues.
You know, through all the years, when you're doing the science stuff, when you're doing the money stuff, I found that there were a lot of questions you didn't quite ask.
But I'm asking them now.
Okay, keep going. You're doing good.
Thank you. Then Robert says, okay, just tell me if they've actually handed you cash at the bank and the debit card. That will go a long way to making me happy right now.
Yes, because
I just want to know if it got to you.
Well, yeah, because once that happens, it means the whole thing is real. But until that happens, there's doubt, and in their case, considerable doubt as time goes on.
All right. Well, we did some sleuthing, and we found out some interesting things about Sophie Preston that I think Robert should know.
I've known Robert for about 3 years, and he was one of my neighbors. I have proven to him time and time again with multiple different women that these are scams.
Well, her first take is they're scammers until proven otherwise. I kind of take the opposite point of view. They're not scamming me until they're proven they're scammers.
His mental stability is all wrapped up in this, his identity, and he can't be wrong. If he's wrong, he fails.
It's exactly like someone taking their paycheck every week and going and playing the slot. They're sure they're going to get the money. They know this time is going to be the one, and then they can make up for the deficit that they have going on. I wrote the Dr. Phil show when he said, well, I'm actually going to food places during the day to eat where they serve the homeless lunch, and then at night I'm sleeping behind the church, so I'm safe. I feel that Dr. Phil is his last chance.
Okay, that was Jill, by the way. She's your friend, correct? And Jill, you're here. We'll talk to you in just a bit. And, Jill points something out that I think is really interesting. And day trading is kind of gambling, right? It's very high risk.
It is.
Okay. And I kind of think you went from one high-risk situation to another high-risk situation is my point.
Okay.
You were looking for something there. You're looking for it in a different high-risk scenario now. But call it what you will. Okay, so Sophie Preston, we wanted to find out really who this mute beauty was. Mm-hmm. So we did some checking because you look at documents, as anyone should. Sure. You're quite right to do that. Mm-hmm. And you said you did look at her passport.
Yes.
And we did the same thing. Now, what we have here, this is a passport that is real. We know this one for sure, and I'm not saying this one isn't. I'm just saying we know this one sure because he works with us here, and I've known him for 20 years. So I know this person's for real, and so I know this is a legitimate passport. And so I put it up here so we can compare between the two. Now, one of the things that bothered me here is that there are two different names on this passport. Now, we had to block this out up here because we don't want to actually show the name, but this name starts with a J up here where they signed the passport, but the name on the passport down here that has been typed in is Sophie Preston. But the person that signed this passport is not Sophie Preston. It's up here, and it's a name that starts with a J. Then I looked at the picture, and we've blurred the picture out because I'll get to that in a minute, but you notice the picture is on top of the United States seal. In the actual passport, the seal is on top of the picture. And the reason that's a significant finding is because it tells you that this picture has been pasted on top of an existing passport because it's covering up the seal, whereas the seal encroaches on the picture in a real passport.
Can I comment on this? I have something to say.
Yes.
Okay, the passport you have, I know that that's fraudulent. But in the research that was done in sending documents to your people, I was sending a lot of stuff. So anything I found on my internet, on my computer, I was sending that out. I know that one's fraudulent. There was another one I'm not sure I ever found. In the speed of things, I sent that one out. I know that one's fraudulent. I found that out myself. And I know why it's fraudulent.
Tell me.
She's had two attorneys, okay? The first one, her first attorney wanted to get me convinced to move this along because he had money issues himself. When I confronted her and this guy, basically, she said, I've never seen that before. So I said, okay, well, she's probably lying to me, but I said, let's find out. When I confronted him with it, he basically said he made it up and it was fraudulent. So I did know that was fraudulent already. Another one was sent to me, though, that I don't think is fraudulent. So unfortunately, I didn't get that one to you.
Oh, you just forgot to give us that one.
No, I didn't find it. Look,
Come on.
Look, we're talking about in a few days putting hundreds of things together on my computer.
Look, I can't help you if you just keep shooting yourself in the foot. Don't tell me about a document you have that you didn't send me.
I didn't find it. I found that one. I forgot I had two.
Yeah, well, remember it next time, okay? This is fraudulent. You see, this is clearly fraudulent. The lines down here are red.
It's clearly fraudulent.
Real ones are black. The name's in a different font.
I recognize
You
it
get
in 5 minutes.
Okay, let's move on to something that you did send us on purpose, okay?
Well, I sent that to you on purpose too, but I didn't look at it closely when I did it.
Oh, my goodness.
That's clearly fraudulent.
This is her driver's license.
Yeah, that's what he said too.
Okay, you know this is fraudulent
Absolutely.
too. Okay, so she said you have a fraudulent passport and a fraudulent driver's license.
She didn't send it to me, actually, this attorney did.
Show me a document that's not fraudulent.
Well, I don't have it on me. Do you understand that your assistants were asking for information at a rapid-fire rate over a lot of people in a very short period of time?
Yeah, because they care a lot about what happens to you.
Yes, and I was not prepared at that moment to do it. I had to do it very quickly, and while I was doing it, more requests came in. I was doing that as fast as I could. So if mistakes were made, yeah, they were made.
Yeah, you were busy being belligerent is the reason you were having trouble getting all your documents together. Yes, that is a fact.
Okay.
That is a fact.
It's your show.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at whether you were being belligerent or not. Let's just take a look.
I'm not going to use their name, period. It doesn't matter who you give me to. You can give me the head of the corporation. I'm still not going to do it. So we have an impasse here. I'm going to put the onus back on you. You have my story, you have my wife's story, you have Jill's story. Wait a minute, you're talking over me. Stop talking over me. If you want the answer, you're going to have to let me talk, okay? We don't have a show then, because I'm not going to say their actual first name. My bottom line is I'm not going to mention their name.
Oh, I just got a text from Robert. He says, I decided you can use all the first names now.
What?
I know.
What? Are you serious?
I basically took a look at each person and their situation. Decided that I could do it. Of all the ones you got mentioned today, I reviewed each one and I'm okay with it now. Okay, very good. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
That's an example of belligerent?
Is it an example of belligerence?
If a camera followed you around and took a snippet anywhere they wanted to, what would they say about you? Ask anybody in this room, would they like to have everything they say recorded and then take it out of context?
Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
I want to be right, and I want this show to be right. I don't want to be wrong, would you?
I decided to let it pass you being rude and belligerent and abusive with my staff, but if you want to take that to task, we can, because you are a loudmouth bully.
Did you have the other side of that conversation? You know that phone conversation.
Yeah, I got the other side of that conversation. You want to bully them, bully me, Buster.
Play the other side of that conversation.
You heard the other side of the conversation.
I did not.
You don't run the show, I run the show.
Well, that's apparent.
Yeah.
And so that puts you in complete control.
It absolutely puts me in complete control.
Good. Okay.
Now, do you want the information or do you not?
I do.
Okay. Robert explained to our producers that his girlfriend, Sophie Preston, lived with her mother, Jessica Phillip, in Northern California until her mother recently died.
Not quite.
Sophie Preston is now in a homeless shelter. Okay, you want to split hairs? Okay, okay, I'll give you the floor. Go ahead. Go ahead. Split hairs. We'll play semantics.
Because I don't know what you're going to do with that. So Sophie Preston grew up in England, moved with her family to California. She had to go back to Nigeria related to her father's death and issues related to her inheritance. Her mother went with her because her mother wasn't doing that well and couldn't stay back without her. Then she had to leave. Then she went to Nigeria, back to California, died on the way in Germany, and then Sophie went to her home. When her mother died, she found out she could not live there because it wasn't her home.
Okay, now let me finish because you haven't got the damn clue where I'm going. We sent a staffer to the town where Sophie Preston says she and her attorney, who is managing her inheritance, Bernard T. Williams, live, because there's nothing better than boots on the ground. So let's see what this investigation uncovered.
Dr. Phil wanted to see if we could confirm some information given to him by Robert, who got it from Sophie. We are trying to see who lives in these two addresses. The show has been told by Robert that Sophie and Jessica, her mother, used to live in this address. Hey guys, can you guys tell me if you've seen this woman?
Never. I've never seen her.
She lives in this house right here, 3 houses down. Well, she used to live with her mom. This is her mom. She had a small dog.
I've never seen that woman here down the street. We're out all the time. I would honestly knock on her door. She's lived here for years.
Hi. Do you recognize this woman?
No.
Have you ever seen her?
No.
The show has been told by Robert that Bernard, Sophie's attorney, lives at this location. Do you know who this man is?
Never met him before once in my life.
Never heard the name Brandon T. Williams.
No.
Have you ever seen this woman? Does she look familiar? Have you seen her?
No, I've never met her before.
Dr. Phil, it is safe to say that the people that live in the addresses that Robert gave you do not know who Sophie, Jessica, or the attorney are.
Okay, we went up and down the street, and A lot of the people said, no, I would remember this girl.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would remember her. We have people that lived in this street for like 30 years.
I don't doubt your research.
And said, neither one of them ever existed in that city, on that street. Talked to people that have lived there their entire lives. Neither one of them have ever been there.
I'm glad you were thorough.
So that's a lie.
Yes.
They never lived there.
It seems so.
So the summary findings that we have regarding Sophie Preston are that we also check to see if there is a Sophie Preston in California or the United States with the date of birth that she is given. The answer is no. So we wanted to know, there's United Crude Oil in Nigeria or the UK. And we located one United Crude Oil in Wilton, Connecticut. It's been out of business since the early 2000s, has no connection with anybody associated with Sophie Preston then or later. There is no Sophie Preston that sells to Miss K Boutique in Nigeria. There are 3 Miss K locations in Nigeria. We talked to all of them, and no one by this name has ever done any business with any of those locations.
Well, the damning part is going to address. That's the part. The name of this company actually isn't accurate, but I assume they would know because it's close enough. It was actually Mrs. K, and not Boutique that I know. Anyway, the other part is United Crude Oil. Yeah, that's pretty damning. The other part of it is the date of birth business. I was told that if you were born in the UK, that might not show up in the usual databases, but there's enough there to draw the conclusion that you drew.
For 40 years. For 40 years.
Well, I've been married 43 years, and my wife says some of them feel like dog years too, so I understand there.
This man is so arrogant that I'm actually enjoying all the scamming being exposed. Because he has it coming, you know? He kind of deserves this. Let's see, he gambled away the multi-million-dollar retirement nest egg that he and his wife of 40 years had together. And she learned about it right before he went in for bypass surgery. He's currently dating 5 women, and they're all young, beautiful, exotic-looking, rich, and supposedly they want to be with him to give him their money. How does that make sense? But he's also giving them his money. It makes no sense. Anyway, this was part 1 of a 2-part story. I'm just gonna end it here and go on and watch part 2 because I need to see what's gonna happen next. But you guys let me know what you thought about this one. What do you think is wrong with this man? Is he a narcissist? He definitely has a lot of qualities there. Definitely very arrogant, and he was belligerent with the staff. I'm actually really happy for his wife's freedom because I'm sure she's much more relaxed now than she ever was during those 40 years of marriage to him. But y'all let me know what you think about this one. Drop it in the comments.